Hey everyone, welcome to the show. OMG. Oh my God, you guys, the MAGA cope right now is so bad. It's off the charts. It's the worst I've ever seen it. They're digging deep to make excuses for Donald Trump and his lies. Like I said, this is the worst I have ever seen. Here's what this is all about. So, the Trump administration, you may have heard, they issued a statement about the Jeffrey Epstein case, and they tried to moonwalk away from everything that they've promised and said in the past. In a nutshell, they're saying, no Epstein list, nothing here. He committed suicide. Move on. Nothing to see, folks. Move along. Of course, this comes after Elon Musk had recently said that Donald Trump was found in the Epstein files. It also comes on the heels of a death of the most well known Epstein victim. And I've shared with all of you how Trump was named in a woman's lawsuit along with Epstein. The alleged victim accused Trump of violating her when she was just 13 years old. But she dropped that lawsuit because of death threats. And I know this for a fact because I personally, in person, spoke with her attorney in December of 2016. That was a month after she withdrew the complaint. Anyway, MAGA is just reaching for anyone and anything to blame, any excuse they can find, except what's staring them right in the face. And I have some really interesting tweets to share with you guys from cult members. They are huffing hard on that copium. So before I get into all these details, though, and all the posts and the backpedaling, please do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button below this video. It is free for you. It really helps the show, and I greatly appreciate it. So here is what Pam Bondi had said. This is over the last few months, just since Donald Trump took office. These were all Fear News Network interviews, and they were asking her about the Epstein case. So what you're going to see, this is a compilation of 3 separate interviews with Fox. So check this out.
Tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. A truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI. The FBI hasn't had, obviously, they haven't looked at the thousands of pages of documents that they've just received. We believe in transparency, and America has the right to know. The Biden administration sat on these documents. No one did anything with them. You know, sadly, these people don't believe in transparency, but I think more, unfortunately, I think a lot of them don't believe in honesty. And it's a new day, it's a new administration, and everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know. It's infuriating that these people thought that they could sit on this information, but they can't. It's a new day, and we believe in transparency, and it's going to come out.
So there you go. I mean, tens of thousands of documents, a truckload of documents, the list of Epstein's clients is on my desk. Everything's going to come out. It's a new day, Sean. We believe in transparency. The American people have a right to know. From that to, oh, yeah, no list. There's no Epstein list. Won't be sharing any further details. All done. Our work here is done. And then today, Donald Trump put out I don't even know what you would call it, a truth, a fake, over on his failing social media site, praising Dan Bongino, praising Kash Patel. Oh, what a wonderful job they've done. And now we can put this behind us and we can move on. That was his directive. Just to be clear, that is Donald Trump's directive to his base. We are done. We're not talking about this anymore. And these guys are great because I guarantee they've been getting threats I guarantee that MAGA has been yelling at them, flipping out about them, and they probably went and cried to Daddy Trump. And so he's like, okay, I'll calm them down. I'll do something. I'll get them to back off. I mean, Trump is going to make a liar out of you no matter who you are. So they should have known that. They should have known from every other person that has come in his, was within his orbit, that he was going to make them lie and make them liars. And who else? I mean, speaking of which, Kim Jong-un Levitt over at the podium, she also seemingly lied about this. She was asked about this whole thing with Pam Bondi by a Fox News reporter, by Peter Doocy. And she tried to spin the whole thing. And she said, oh, Pam Bondi, she just meant that, oh, there's a bunch of Epstein documents on her desk. She wasn't actually referring to the list. She was just saying, oh, I have a bunch of Epstein stuff. Let's assume for a minute, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's assume that's true. It's not, but let's pretend. Let's play dress up like Kristi Noem. Where is everything else? Okay, there's no list. Where's the rest of it? She had said, Pam Bondi had said that they identified about 250 victims and they had thousands of videos. Who was in the videos? Who were the men or who were the women in those videos? They weren't all of Jeffrey Epstein with young girls, and we know this because they said so. There were other perpetrators. We also know that this is a fact because Virginia Giuffre wrote about this in her diary decades ago. And for those who don't know Giuffre, she is the most, or was the most high profile of Epstein's victims. And it was primarily because she accused Prince Andrew of having sex with her on multiple occasions when she was underage. And in her diary, which was made public years ago in a court filing, so it's not like she wrote this because she knew this was going to happen. No, she wrote this years ago. She wrote, quote, I used to be watched by Epstein's hidden cameras, which I have seen myself. The FBI have the archived footage showing me being abused by other men used as blackmail. And guess who just took her own life in April? Yeah. If you guessed Virginia Giuffre, you're right. Take a look at this.
One of the most prominent accusers of disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein has died. Virginia Giuffre dedicated her life trying to get Epstein and his enablers to face justice. NBC's Stephanie Goss has more.
In a statement, her family announcing the 41-year-old mother of three took her own life. Giuffre said she was recruited by Epstein's girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell when she was just 14 years old. According to Giuffre, it was the start of years of sexual abuse by Epstein, Maxwell, and their friends.
It was that constant, we own the police. You can't run. You can't tell anybody. We'll never be held accountable for this.
At age 17, Giuffre said Maxwell and Epstein directed her to have sex multiple times with Prince Andrew.
Isn't it interesting that Epstein and Giuffre both supposedly committed suicide, and they both supposedly committed suicide while Donald Trump was president? Because Epstein allegedly committed suicide during Donald Trump's first term. Now, Virginia Giuffre allegedly commits suicide. And, isn't it convenient that Giuffre is now deceased and she can't refute any of what Trump's FBI is now telling us this week? So the good news is MAGA's starting to catch on a little. They're starting to question all of this. Of course, Elon Musk, he got in on this whole thing. He posted a meme of a Jeffrey Epstein pedophile arrest counter, and it showed 0 arrest. It said, "What's the time? Oh, look, it's no one has been arrested o'clock yet again." Of course, high profile MAGA cult members, they are only blaming Bondi, they're blaming Kash Patel, they're blaming the deep state. InfoWars host Alex Jones, he's a perfect example. He posted a video on Twitter and he's claiming that, oh, the DOJ is covering for the CIA and Mossad. I'm not saying he's wrong, but I think that there's more to it than that. And then podcaster Mike Cernovich, he inched a little closer, got a little more bold and blamed Trump, kind of, sort of, maybe. He wrote, quote, "No one is believing the Epstein cover-up at real Donald Trump. This will be part of your legacy." And there's a conspiracy theorist, MAGA political commentator. He posted, quote, "Right now, my trust in government is at 0. On my desk and truck full is what we were told. The lies are blatant. Someone has some explaining to do. People have to go to jail." Are you sure about that, guy? You sure you want people to go to jail? Because I think I know who it might be behind bars, if you really want the truth. Yeah, he said, "Oh, I don't care what side of the aisle they're on. They need to be taken down." Really? Okay, because I sent him a link. I posted a link in response to his tweet to the case that I just showed you guys and got nothing back from him. So yeah, they want people to go to jail as long as it's not Donald Trump. And the responses to this guy's post would be hysterical if these people weren't just so deep in the cult and just drowning in the Kool-Aid. So this one was one of my favorites. This is the most delusional, in my opinion. Someone replied, quote, "My reasoning on it, Epstein wasn't blackmailing anyone. Mossad was. Trump is using that knowledge to rein in Netanyahu and end the Gaza conflict." Oh my God. These people are seriously brain dead. I mean, first of all, how is he reining in Netanyahu? Netanyahu just went and got us involved in a war in Iran. And yeah, it's been long reported that Epstein was working for the Mossad. Ghislaine Maxwell, his longtime girlfriend and accomplice, her father was well known to be working for Mossad, for Israeli intelligence. So yes, the Mossad could have been using Epstein's vile recordings. I would venture a guess, yes, although it's never been definitively proven. But I would venture a guess that, yeah, they were using these videos to blackmail world leaders. It makes perfect sense, right? I believe that it could be why the U.S. continues to fund their genocide, and almost all American politicians pledge allegiance to the Israeli flag. Why else would we have laws in our country banning people from speaking out against Israel? Think about that. We're not even banned from speaking out against our own government, but we can't speak out against Israel or we face punishment. Why do we have laws that prohibit American citizens from calling for institutions and companies to divest from Israel investments? These are these BDS laws. And why else do we continue year after year to send billions of American tax dollars to Israel every damn year when they have free health care for their residents? They can provide free health care for all of their residents, yet our lawmakers say, oh, we can't afford it. We can't give American citizens free health care. Just too expensive. But Trump isn't using the Epstein info to blackmail Netanyahu. I don't buy that for a second. If anything, it's the other way around. Anyway, this next comment made me seriously LOL. I was literally laughing out loud. A guy named James wrote, quote, "If Trump can't beat the deep state after a landslide election, then there is no hope." They still believe he won by a landslide, even though he didn't even get a majority of the vote in the United States. It's hashtag sad. They're so misinformed. This next one also had me laughing pretty hard. It said, quote, "They blatantly lied to us. They said they had the files. They said they would release them. They lied. They think we are stupid." They think you're stupid. Really? Yeah. That guy got dragged in the comment section pretty hard. People were like, "No, they know you're stupid." And then some Twitter users were logical and they did call out Trump. They're pissed. A man who included the word patriot in his username, he tagged Trump and posted, quote, "At some point, people have to stop blaming the cabinet members and look to Trump. He's not giving us answers. We were promised full transparency. We are not getting transparency on major campaign promises. Trump is the president, not Bondi or Rollins. At real Donald Trump, not acceptable." And then a woman tagged Bondi and Kash Patel and Trump's POTUS account. And she said, quote, "This grotesque cover-up by @Pam Bondi and @FBI Director Cash would not be possible without the consent of POTUS. This is incredibly discouraging and disheartening." And she is definitely a MAGA woman based on her username. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing that drives me insane in the membrane. These people act like Donald Trump is so tough. He's in charge. He's the man. He tells everybody what to do. He'll bend anyone to his will. But then it's, "Oh, I can't make Pam Bondi release the Epstein stuff. Oh, he's so fragile. He's so gentle. He's just so naive. And he's so easily bullied by Pam freaking Bondi. Are you kidding me?" These people are pathetic, absolutely pathetic, that they refuse to hold their dear leader accountable. It is sickening. And then another MAGA woman had posted, quote, "My trust for Trump went from 100% in November 2024 to 0% now." And another Twitter user said, quote, "Trust is earned and they burned it to the ground. They lied to our faces, repeatedly, boldly. Now it's time for accountability. No more passes." Now, that person didn't specifically call out Trump, so I think it's safe to assume, he's also the they that he's referring to is Trump's minions. So, yeah, I mean, there are a few who get it and realize they got duped, they were lied to, and that this is on Donald Trump. But the vast majority, like I said, they're just huffing the copium. They are fully submersed underwater in the Kool-Aid, and they will never, ever hold him accountable. They do not get it. They think that the guy walks on water, that he was literally sent from God, which could have sworn that was kind of like what everyone would think of the Antichrist, right? Hence why I call him the apricot Antichrist. Anyway, I will let you know if I hear any more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.